What if I told you the mastermind behind one of the most powerful companies in the world was once fired from his own creation? What if I told you that same person transformed failure into an unstoppable force that revolutionized the way we live today? This is the story of a visionary who didn't just build computers. He built an empire. It all starts in 1976 with two guys, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, building computers in a garage. Can you imagine that? Just tinkering away, trying to create something revolutionary. Jobs was only 21 years old, but he had this infectious drive and a crazy vision. He believed computers weren't just for techies. They could be for everyone. It sounds obvious today, but back then, it was revolutionary. That's how the Apple I was born, a personal computer in an age when computers were anything but personal. Now, things really took off with the launch of the Apple II. That was the game changer, the first real personal computer with color graphics. It was a huge hit, and suddenly Apple wasn't just a garage startup, it was a rising star. By 1980, Apple had gone public, and Jobs was worth over $200 million. Can you believe it? From tinkering in a garage to being a multi-millionaire in just a few years. But here's where things get interesting. Jobs had this incredible vision, but his personality? Let's just say he was a bit intense. He was demanding, sometimes abrasive, and he wasn't afraid to push people to their limits. That led to clashes at Apple, especially over the Macintosh, his pet project. The Mac was a beautiful machine, way ahead of its time in terms of design, but it wasn't selling as well as Apple hoped. Jobs was eventually forced out of the company in 1985. Can you imagine? The very company he co-founded, and they kicked him out. But here's the thing. Instead of giving up, Jobs turned his setback into a comeback. He founded Next, a new tech company, and also bought Pixar from George Lucas. We all know how that turned out. Pixar became a massive success with films like Toy Story. So, even while Jobs was away from Apple, he was still reshaping industries. By the mid-90s, Apple was in trouble. The company was bleeding money, and it seemed like they were on the brink of collapse. In 1997, Apple bought Next, and just like that, Jobs was back. And this is where his resilience really shines. He didn't just come back to his old role. He transformed Apple from a struggling company to the most valuable brand on the planet. Remember the iMac? It was one of his first big products when he returned. It was colorful, user-friendly, and completely different from anything else on the market. Jobs knew that technology had to be as much about design and experience as it was about function, and that's what set Apple apart. But the real revolution came in the early 2000s. First, the iPod in 2001, then the iPhone in 2007. These weren't just gadgets. They changed entire industries. The iPod redefined how we listen to music, and the iPhone? Well, that put a computer in everyone's pocket. Jobs once said, "People don't know what they want until you show it to them." And he kept proving that with every product. And of course, Jobs wasn't just about the hardware. He was also a master at creating ecosystems. Look at the App Store or iTunes. Those platforms not only made Apple products more useful, but they also built a loyal customer base that stuck with Apple for life. What's really remarkable is how Jobs always stayed laser-focused on simplicity and perfection. He famously obsessed over the tiniest details, like how a product felt in your hand or how the packaging looked when you opened it. It wasn't just about selling devices. It was about creating an experience. And let's not forget, he was also a master storyteller. Every product launch felt like a Hollywood event. People tuned in from all over the world to see what he'd announce next. Sadly, Steve Jobs passed away in 2011, but by then, he'd already left an indelible mark on the world. He didn't just build a company, he created a legacy. Apple continues to thrive, and you see his influence in every product they release, whether it's the iPhone, MacBook, or even the Apple Watch. But here's the big lesson from Steve Jobs' story. Resilience and vision are a powerful combo. He was a guy who got knocked down, but instead of giving up, he used every setback as a springboard for his next success. He wasn't afraid to dream big or take risks, and he never settled for anything less than what he believed was perfect. Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." And you know what? He wasn't wrong. That's the rise of Apple, all thanks to Steve Jobs' unrelenting vision and resilience. We can learn 11 lessons from Steve Jobs' journey and the rise of Apple. His story is packed with lessons that go beyond just entrepreneurship or technology. It's about mindset, perseverance, and the power of vision. Let me break it down in detail. Number 1. Vision drives everything. Jobs didn't just want to create computers. He wanted to change how people interacted with technology. His vision went beyond the technical specs. He saw a future where technology would be beautifully designed, intuitive, and something everyone could use. Having a strong, forward-thinking vision is critical. If you're clear about where you're headed, even if others can't see it, you can chart your own path. A compelling vision not only motivates you, but can also inspire others to follow you, even in the face of doubt or adversity. Number 2. The power of perseverance. Jobs faced huge setbacks, like being forced out of the company he founded. Most people would have given up at that point, but not Jobs. Instead, he went on to found Next, acquired Pixar, and eventually returned to Apple, using his failures as stepping stones for his next success. Resilience in the face of adversity is key. Success is not about never failing. It's about how you recover and what you learn from those failures. Jobs' resilience reminds us that setbacks aren't the end. They're just part of the journey. When challenges arise, it's essential to keep moving forward, pivot when necessary, and stay committed to your ultimate goals. Number 3. Innovation requires risk. Jobs constantly push boundaries. Whether it was the creation of the Macintosh, the iPod, or the iPhone, Jobs was always taking risks. Many of these innovations were seen as risky moves at the time. There was no guarantee they would succeed. But Jobs had a mindset where he believed that innovation requires you to step into the unknown. Taking calculated risks is essential for growth and innovation. If you always play it safe, you'll never create something truly revolutionary. Jobs' story teaches us that great rewards often come from daring to do what others aren't willing to do. It's about trusting your instincts, even when the outcome is uncertain. Number 4. Simplicity is genius. One of Jobs' mantras was, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." He believed that products should be intuitive and easy to use, with no unnecessary complexity. The success of products like the iPhone and MacBook shows that simplicity often leads to mass appeal. Complexity isn't always a sign of brilliance. Sometimes, the most impactful solutions are the simplest ones. This principle applies not just in product design, but in communication, leadership, and problem-solving. Stripping away unnecessary complexity can lead to more effective, user-friendly, and innovative outcomes. Number 5. Attention to detail matters. Jobs was obsessed with perfection, even down to the smallest details. Whether it was the design of a product or how it felt in someone's hand, he left no stone unturned. This commitment to excellence became one of Apple's defining features. It's the little things that can set you apart. Whether you're creating a product, service, or brand, attention to detail can make the difference between something average and something extraordinary. Jobs teaches us to care about the things others might overlook, because those small details add up to create something truly special. Number 6. Embrace failure as a learning tool. Jobs didn't fear failure. He embraced it. His early failures with Apple, like the Apple Lisa and the first version of the Macintosh, didn't stop him from pushing forward. Even when he was ousted from Apple, he used that time to grow, innovate, and come back stronger. Failure is inevitable, but it's not the end. The key is to learn from your mistakes and use them to improve. Jobs' story shows that failure can be one of the best teachers. Instead of fearing it, use failure as a feedback mechanism to course correct and move closer to success. Number 7. Believe in your product and your purpose. Jobs believed in every product Apple created. He wasn't just trying to sell gadgets. He was trying to make the world better through technology. His passion for creating products that delight users is a big part of what made Apple successful. Belief in your purpose and what you're offering is essential. Whether you're an entrepreneur, leader, or creator, if you don't believe in what you're doing, neither will anyone else. Jobs' unwavering belief in Apple's products helped create a culture of excellence and inspired millions. Number 8. Customer experience is paramount. Jobs understood that technology wasn't just about specs or features. It was about the user experience. He was laser-focused on how people felt when they used an Apple product. He wanted that experience to be seamless, beautiful, and even emotional. This focus on user experience helped Apple build one of the most loyal customer bases in history. Focusing on your audience's needs and how they engage with your product or service is key to success. Whether you're building a business or a brand, the customer experience should be at the forefront of everything you do. Satisfied customers are your best ambassadors, and that loyalty is invaluable. Number 9. Surround yourself with talent. Although Jobs was a visionary, he couldn't build Apple alone. He surrounded himself with talented people, from Wozniak in the early days to Jonathan Ive later on, who played a huge role in the design of iconic Apple products. You can't do it all by yourself, and that's okay. Success often comes from collaborating with the right people who complement your strengths and help execute your vision. It's important to build a team that challenges you, adds value, and helps bring your ideas to life. Number 10. Create a culture of innovation. Under Jobs' leadership, Apple fostered a culture of innovation. He encouraged his team to think differently and to challenge the status quo. Apple didn't just follow trends, it set them. This culture of innovation made Apple one of the most innovative companies in the world. If you want to lead a successful company or organization, creating an environment where innovation is valued is crucial. Encourage your team to think outside the box, experiment, and take risks. This fosters creativity and growth, leading to breakthroughs that can transform your business. Number 11. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Jobs often quoted this phrase from his famous Stanford commencement speech. It encapsulates his approach to life and business. Always be curious, always strive for more, and don't be afraid to take unconventional paths. Jobs never settled, and that constant hunger for improvement is part of what drove his success. Never become complacent. No matter how much success you achieve, there's always room for growth and improvement. Stay curious, keep learning, and remain open to new opportunities, even when they seem foolish to others. In essence, the rise of Apple under Steve Jobs offers us a powerful blueprint for personal and professional success. It's about having the courage to pursue a bold vision, the resilience to keep going in the face of setbacks, and the creativity to continually push boundaries. If we apply these lessons to our own lives, we can create something extraordinary, just as Jobs did with Apple. If this video helps you to learn something, then don't forget to like and subscribe to the latest videos. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, the next great story could be yours. See you in the next video.